In modern life, looking at oneself in the mirror is a very common and familiar behavior. People look in the mirror to adjust their appearance, observe their physical image, and confirm how they look. However, when mirror checking happens frequently and repeatedly throughout the day, it is no longer just a daily habit, but may reflect deeper psychological states. First of all, it is important to acknowledge that frequent mirror checking is not always negative. At a moderate level, it reflects self-care and self-awareness. Humans naturally have a desire to understand who they are and how they appear to others, especially during periods of change, such as adolescence, starting a new job, or entering a romantic relationship. Looking in the mirror helps individuals reaffirm their self-image and build confidence. In these cases, mirror checking serves an adaptive and developmental psychological function. However, when mirror checking becomes excessive and repetitive, it is often associated with a need for emotional reassurance. The individual is no longer simply checking their appearance, but is seeking confirmation to relieve inner anxiety, asking questions such as, "Do I look okay?" or "Will others judge me?" The mirror then becomes a temporary coping tool that reduces anxiety only briefly, which can lead to a repetitive cycle of checking. At a deeper level, frequent mirror checking reflects a high degree of self-consciousness. Individuals may be overly aware of how they are perceived by others and tend to view themselves through an imagined social lens. They may believe that others are constantly observing or evaluating their appearance. This pattern is commonly linked to mild social anxiety, where individuals fear negative judgment, criticism, or rejection. Another important aspect is the relationship between mirror checking and body image insecurity. Contrary to the common belief that people who look in the mirror frequently are narcissistic, many individuals do so because they are dissatisfied with or unable to accept their appearance. They may focus excessively on a small perceived flaw, such as their skin, nose, hair, or body shape. The more they look, the more flaws they believe they find, which further reinforces negative self-perception. In more severe cases, excessive mirror checking may be associated with body image anxiety disorders or obsessive-compulsive tendencies. Individuals in this situation do not check the mirror because they want to, but because they feel compelled to do so. Avoiding the mirror may cause intense discomfort or distress. At this stage, mirror checking no longer provides relief, but instead becomes a psychological burden that interferes with daily functioning, work, and social relationships. In conclusion, frequently looking at oneself in the mirror multiple times a day is a psychological signal that deserves attention. It reflects not only concerns about appearance, but also levels of self-confidence, emotional security, and self-worth. The key issue is not how often a person looks in the mirror, but the emotions and thoughts that accompany the behavior. When individuals feel secure and accepting of themselves, the mirror becomes merely a reflective surface, not a source of validation for personal value.